Welcome back, Florida Congressman Byron Donalds and Art Laffer, former Reagan economist, author of Trumponomics, Inside the America First Plan to Revive the Economy. I guess that's the name of it. Arthur, we had to have you back because today's your birthday, so we're going to celebrate your birthday. Byron Donalds is going to celebrate your birthday. We're all going to celebrate. I asked Milton Friedman to come, but he was otherwise engaged, so we'll just have the three of us talking. All right. Byron Donalds, let me begin with you. You think I'm wrong? You think Kamala Harris on Friday is going to unveil some supply-side policy? Or do you think she's going to blame businesses and the private sector and price gouging and corporate greed for inflation? How do you see this, Byron?
Larry, I see it how you see it. She's going to come out and do the same progressive talking points on the ways to curb prices. The problem is it doesn't work. I think she gave a speech maybe 2 days ago and started hinting at when she was a prosecutor, she's gone after corporations for raising prices and things like that. Well, we all know that if you try to put artificial caps on prices, what you end up doing is raising prices as a result. That doesn't work. She will never look at the fact that she was the tie-breaking vote in the U.S. Senate for the American Rescue Plan, which created a labor shortage by paying people to stay home, and the Inflation Reduction Act. She was the tie-breaking vote for that, too, which then supercharged the inflation crisis we have right now. She won't take responsibility for the fact that this inflation spree started in 2021. And the funny thing happened in 2021, Larry. Donald Trump was no longer president of the United States. It was Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. This is their economic record that has been destroying middle-income families and poor families and seniors on fixed incomes. So I don't anticipate any supply-side policy agenda from Kamala Harris. Quite the contrary. It's going to be with massive government regulation, having the boot on American business. And we all know what that does. That only is going to spur less economic growth, and it's actually going to create a more stubborn inflation going forward.
Arthur Laffer, Ms. Harris is going to say, she's going to say corporations are the problem, and she's going to want to tax them. And I don't know whether she's going to go for direct price controls. Maybe she will. But she always attacks them, and I think she wants to tax them. And I'm just trying to make this distinction, Art. There's government action and there's free enterprise action. The government action is the problem. That is the problem. The Democrats don't see it that way. But Mr. Trump understands that a liberated, free enterprise economy, he's talking about that right now in North Carolina. I've seen the draft. He's saying it's free enterprise that is the solution. Now, in the face of evidence, Art, why do the Democrats not understand? Why do you think so?
Well, I think she doesn't understand, and I think Byron's comment was really to the point. She was that tie-breaking vote. She owns the Inflation Reduction Act even more than Joe Biden. She is the author of the inflation of the Biden administration. She really is. It rose up to 9 points. If it had been greed and if it had been price gouging by businesses, wouldn't they have price gouged and greeded them way through Trump? They didn't. Inflation was low under Trump when businesses were given the free rein to grow and be competitive, and we didn't have inflation. Then she comes in with the government, and bang, it goes way up. It's clear that there's the evidence for you, but she's been in government all of her life, Larry. That's what she is, a lawyer and in government and all of her life. She thinks of government as the answer. And in fact, we think of government as the problem. Wasn't that the Reagan thing? The seven most scary words in the English language. I'm from the government and I'm here to help you. I mean, she believes that government is the solution because she is government. She believes she's all powerful, but she doesn't understand the private sector at all. She wants one-person health care system. She wants all of this national takeover. She wants to raise taxes on business. She doesn't think these people respond to incentives and supply side. I think Byron's completely correct. She's just going to go the wrong way, much worse than Biden did.
It's just weird. They don't understand markets. They don't understand markets, right? Because
they don't.
The thing is, say, Byron, look if you're running a company and you raise your prices too much, okay? Guess what? Consumers will boycott your product, and the company will lose money. Okay, that's the way a market works. There's supply and there's demand. If the business gets out of line, the consumer slaps the business back into line. That's how markets work, okay? You know, if a stock is higher than people want to pay for it, then they will hold back their cash and the price of the stock will come down, or they'll just sell the stock and the price will come down. Byron, they don't understand markets, and they don't seem to be improving on any of that. I hear no market-oriented stuff coming from it's Kamala, but it's the whole lot of them. I don't hear any of that, and that's where I think the problem is. There's nobody from business. They don't get business in markets, Byron Donalds.
Not at all.
Well, look, Larry, you're correct. I think it just came out the other day that Starbucks has fired their CEO for a similar situation. They were jacking prices on coffees. The customers rejected it. And the board is like, what the heck's going on? Get this guy out of here. They brought in the Chipotle CEO. That just happened in the market. But it's bigger than that. I think two things. Number one, the reason why Democrats do not trust markets and don't understand markets is because you can't get elected with that kind of policy agenda if you truly believe that the market system works. So this is about political power, not about economic policy for the American people. And it's important to state and for everybody to understand, Kamala Harris is going to try to distance herself from Joe Biden's economic record. The problem is, like Susan Rice said the other day, she is intricate. She was right there crafting the economic policy of the Biden administration that now she's trying to walk away from. She cannot.
Exactly.
His successes and failures are hers.
Where's she going to go? I mean, you know, she's going to run away from him at this late date with just a couple months before the election, having unseated him? I mean, Steve Forbes said last night on the show he may be forced to resign as president after the Democratic convention in Chicago, for all we know. But where's she going to run, and where's the difference? Here, let me go back to some. Arthur, you were talking about health care a minute ago. She flip-flops. She's not really for Medicare for all, although she was. It's a $40 trillion program, okay? But she also said in those days, which were only a few years ago before she flip-flopped, that she would end private health insurance. So I did a little homework because I was doing ballpark last night. More specifically, listen to these numbers, Arthur. 180 million Americans through business group health care. That's the private sector, okay? 180 million. Plus, Arthur, there's another 46 million who buy their own, okay? So you've got 180 million through some kind of group business benefit, and you've got 46. That's a total of 226 million people that would be disenfranchised if you ended private health insurance. And I got to tell you, Art, I don't care how many times she flips, and I don't care how many times she flops. In her DNA and the DNA of her closest advisors, the left, liberal, progressives would like to end private health insurance. What would that do to this country, Art Laffer? I ask you.
It would be really very bad for the country, and you're completely right. She does have it in her DNA. She's a government person from the beginning of time. When Bernie Sanders wanted single payer, she was right there with Bernie. She believes that in the core of her course. Now, her pollsters tell her, don't say that. It'll hurt you in the election. And she is very cognizant of that, and she may shift. But bottom line, she's going to do it. She's going to put that through. That will be your health care plan. She should put through medical price transparency, the way Trump tried to do in his administration, put the executive order in. And Biden, by the way, went along with Trump. He put in the executive order as well. She's backing away from all of that because she doesn't believe. She believes that government is the answer to every problem, and the private sector is the cause of every problem. That's in her DNA, and that's where she's been all of her life. And she's not going to change on that, Larry. She's not going to change on any of these things. There will not be one private sector pro-incentive capitalist solution she will proffer ever, ever, ever. It'll all be more government, more government, more government. And if you like government, go to the DMV and go to the post office. You can see how well they run things.
Let me just get, Byron, I want to give you the last word, 30 seconds plus. Okay, look at all these deficits, 7% of GDP deficits, $2 trillion as far as the eye can see. over a period of time, the CBO says going to be 120% of GDP. That's a wartime number. That's an emergency number. That's a COVID number. That's a depression number. We have none of those, but they're still spending and borrowing like that. Byron, I guarantee you not one whit, not one peep of those deficits and government spending, none of that stuff is going to be in her speech. Don't you think? I mean, I would be happy if they were, but they never talk about curbing spending, which really was the proximate cause of inflation in this particular cycle. Last word, Byron.
You're absolutely right, Larry. She's not going to talk about it. She will not talk about cutting spending, figuring ways to pay down debt and get our country out of this massive overspending crisis that we're in, because Kamala Harris and Joe Biden and Nancy Pelosi, don't forget her, they put us on this trajectory of annual $2 trillion deficits. She's not going to walk that back because she would lose support inside the Democrat Party overnight. I guarantee you she won't say it.
You're right. Anyway, Congressman Byron Donalds, thank you. Happy birthday to my pal Art Laffer. Appreciate it, buddy.